I'm Oral Hershiser, and I am on Blue Review. Hey, this is Sean Green. You're watching the Blue Review.
I don't Hey, welcome to Monday morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant. That's Greg Bergman in a fancy schmancy new space, man. What's going on?
I'm in the Pizza Hut content studio. Is now I'm officially the first live show in the Pizza Hut content studio. I'm really excited about it. The Blue Review will always be out of the Pizza Hut content studio from now on. So this is a really, really big deal for us here at ESPN LA, for the Blue Review, for Lakers Talk Daily when that comes back, and anything else that we want to do in this room. It's a huge new venture and very, really excited to be in here.
Yeah, I will say the last time I was in the building, I peeked back there. It's sort of like trying to get to like Narnia or Hogwarts or something like that because you have to go through several different
You're
other
going through
rooms.
wardrobes, long jackets.
Seriously, like it's a little bit of that. But when you get back there, it is a very cool space. I did the chance to kind of poke my head in there and look around. So very cool. Look forward to not just a Blue Review, but a whole lot of other stuff coming from that space as well. A lot to talk about with the Dodgers over the weekend, taking 2 of 3 from the Angels, in the process growing their lead in the division to 7.5 games over the Diamondbacks. So we'll get to that and plenty more. But first, as always, I want to let you know the Blue Review is powered by LAX. And LAX is preparing for a huge win against traffic. The Skylink train is currently in testing to ensure it's a fast and reliable ride to every terminal. For more information, visit lawa.org/ESPN. All right. Dodgers win 2 out of 3 against the Angels, 5 out of 6 in the season series against the Halos this coming year after they were inexplicably swept by the Angels. So a little bit of get back this year. So let's start on Friday, where Roki Sasaki, Greg, just keeps getting better. I mean, we came into spring a little bit terrified of what he was going to be. He had a bunch of spring training starts that were absolutely awful. The beginning of the year was not particularly great. The guy we're seeing now looks nothing like the guy we saw back in March and early April.
Completely different guy. Everything is completely different to the point where he did walk a couple of guys on Friday, and I was there at the game. So it was it was really exciting to see him look the way that he did. Put it this way. We didn't want it. Myself and Gene didn't want to go see Roki. We were like, we want to see Yamamoto. We want to see Shohei. Sometimes Glasnow. Sometimes Snell if they were healthy. But when Roki was pitching or Sheehan was pitching, we'd be like, don't leave that one alone. We'll go to a different game. But now I got to seeing Roki on this one. He's going to be right there at the top now, where he's going to start being a part of it. 10 strikeouts, only 2 hits, got a couple of walks, but the guy just looked so much better. He has so much more control of his pitches. He's not as wild as he was. And the whole thing, from what I've been reading and a lot of what I've been seeing, Marcus, is that there's his splitter, he's changed to one, instead of having an 86 mile per hour splitter that starts higher and drops down lower. It's a little bit, it looks more like the fastball, and it's about a 93 mile per hour splitter. So it just comes in straight and drops down, and they look like right on top of each other. Rob Friedman, the pitching ninja, he has the overlays, and you can see, you don't know if it's going to be the fastball or the splitter until basically the ball's on top of the plate.
Talking a couple weeks ago about does he deserve to stay in this rotation? I think he has over his last few starts sort of really solidified his spot in the rotation.
Oh no, he's solid. I think at this point he is completely solid. He's gone. He remember after the first couple months he had like a 12 ERA. He got it down to like a 7. We're like, okay, and it's a little still giving up those home runs, a lot of walks, blah blah blah. He's almost below a 4 ERA. He's almost in the 3s, and I think that's a huge testament to him to being able to get down as far as he is. Because yeah, you're right. That confidence, being able to throw the pitches with confidence, being able to show that he's now going to these 4 pitches instead of just the 2 that he had last year. I mean, he's starting to come around as a complete pitcher. It's really fun to see a young guy who a lot of people had a lot of trust in to really show that, hey, he can get better. He is still really young. He's still a dude that just needed a little bit of time and a little bit of help from Mark Pryor and the pitching staff. And he's getting there. And he's showing it against, I know this was the Angels, but again, he's showing against other teams as well. He showed it against the Brewers. He showed it against the Phillies. It's starting to come around for him, and it's really, really good to see.
Yeah, no, it's been great to see Roki develop the way he has. And after his last start, Fabian Ardaya had a story in The Athletic about how for Dave Roberts and the coaching staff, obviously they were hoping and they were expecting him to get better, but the comment was, we've seen this guy before. This is the guy we saw on tape in Japan that led us to going out and bringing him here to Los Angeles. And so it's nice to see that finally starting to come around. I think sometimes the weight of expectations was a little bit too much. Some of it was probably on us for expecting a lot right off the bat. And I think there's definitely still room to grow, but Roki has been fantastic over his last several starts. And it's just great to be able to say that out loud. Beyond that, all of Friday night pretty much came down to one swing of the bat, right? It was for everything that happened I joked that it was an expected pitcher's duel between Reed Detmers and Roki Sasaki, because why wouldn't it be a couple of guys with ERAs over 4? In the end, we could do all the analysis that we want, or we could just say Freddie Freeman hit a home run, because that's pretty much what happened.
That's what he does. And by the way, Reed Detmers, fell into your 6+ ERA category, where he's just not a good pitcher this year and somehow just shut down the Dodgers, because that's what people with 6 ERAs do against them. But it really, like Freddie, man, all he does is hit walk-off home runs. When you need a walk-off, Freddie is the guy that you wanted to play. And I'm lucky enough now to see 2 of them. One, obviously, in Game 1 of the 2024 World Series, with the walk-off grand slam, which was amazing. And now this one, different levels. Yankees, Angels. I think I'll take the Yankees in the World Series, but still good. It's always nice to see just a walk-off home run, because the rest of the game was incredibly boring. just watching the game, I was able to get through my beer so fast. I was able to get through all the food, and then we're sitting there like, okay, I mean, it's still tied 0-0. We're not going to go anywhere. And then Freddie hits the walk, and we're like, oh, they enjoy. Get to leave the stadium, enjoy.
Yeah, I was going to say Yankees in October, Angels in early June.
A little bit of a difference. Small
bit of a
difference.
Sure. But nonetheless, that was Game 1 of the series, a 1-0 win for the Dodgers. Game 2 of the series, dramatically different. The Angels score 1 in the top of the first. The Dodgers scored 9 in the bottom of the first on their way to a 9-2 win, which technically, Greg, and maybe we can talk about this. Technically, that counts as a come-from-behind win.
I know, that's crazy, right?
Which we have to change that rule, right? I don't know. Can we push it to if you're trailing after the 7th or something? That can't be a come from behind win. But nonetheless, it was nice to see the Dodgers offense basically just tee off in the first inning, even if they took the rest of the day off after that.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree with you. If you want to come from behind win, it should be at the 7th inning or later. Totally with you. Absolutely. But I mean, technically, they did come from behind.
Yeah,
therefore,
sure.
It counts as they come from. But they, at least the biggest thing for me is that Jack Hanowitz, he's a bad pitcher. I got Sam Boney just sitting here watching, and he's a huge Angels fan. And he just, every time we talk about how bad his pitchers are, he just keeps dropping his head down in shame. It's a little distracting, but it's also really funny. So it works out just fine. But Jack Hanowitz, That's what you're supposed to do against a guy like Jack Hanowitz. You're supposed to get on top of him in the first inning and just make him pay and not let him breathe. And they didn't let him breathe. Hit after hit after hit after hit. And they had to pull him because he was at like 30 some pitches and wasn't getting anybody out. So they finally had to pull him out. And then like by that point, it's the pitcher that came in. What's the pitcher? Suter, yeah, Brent Suter came in, and that guy wasn't helping them at all either. Shohei hitting the 2-run shot to get to 9-1. But then just like on Friday, the rest of the game, incredibly boring. Nothing happened after that. It was all until what's his face? Neto.
Neto, yeah.
Home run in the ninth. It was just another boring game, but that's what's supposed to happen in Dodgers Angels and against a guy like Jack Hanowitz. You're supposed to tee off on early on and then just kind of cruise.
Yeah, I was in the Bay Area this weekend with family, visiting family, and driving back, and I'm checking the score. I'm in the passenger seat. My wife's driving. I'm on the phone, just checking the score, and I'm like, "Oh, they scored again! Oh, they scored a couple more. Hey, Shohei just hit a home run!" Like before you knew it, it was 9-1. And then by the time we got home, at that point, you're right. Nothing else happened, which was kind of nice. I got to unpack the car and not have to worry about poking my head in to see what was going on or anything like that. But it was just nice to see them string together hits, have a lot of quality at bats, as you mentioned, against a pitcher who is not having a good year, because it seems like that is always a problem with this offense. The fact that Kahanowitz goes just a third of an inning, is charged with 7 runs on 6 hits. A rough outing for him. Not that he was particularly great, but also his defense let him down. The fact that
bad.
The play the play that closed the book on him after he had already been pulled. Suter comes in with the bases loaded. Alex Freeland hits a ground ball to short. Neto throws it away, trying to get a force out at second base. 3-run score, and that was the play that closed the book on Kahanowitz's night, which has to kind of stink if you're sitting in the dugout and you watch your shortstop just basically throw one wildly to tack 3 more earnings onto your ERA.
But that was normal. But that was normal for the entire series. They just threw away balls religiously, like it's over and over again. They even did we'll get into yesterday's game where they just got tore apart by the bottom of the lineup, but they still were throwing balls away too. If you're one thing, like you can't hit or you can't pitch, but if you can't defend either, then you're just looking at a terrible overall team. And I'm really saying this more so Sam can hear how bad his team is, despite the win yesterday. But so that's more fun for me than anything. But yeah, it was really horrific for Kahanowitz. But look, it helped for the Dodgers. They won 2 out of 3.
They went 2 out of 3. As I'm sitting here as you're talking to, and I'm looking at the just kind of going up and down the Angel lineup. Mike Trout in the series, 0 for 13.
Ouch.
With the 3-5, 6 strikeouts for him in the series.
Is that good?
Not good, not great, Bob. Yeah, I don't know. He got off to a really hot start this year. He has cooled off significantly, and I believe he was, if I got it right, 1 for 20. I think 1 for 20 something in the entire season series.
In all 6 games? Is that what it came down to? Wow.
Yeah, he had 1 hit in all 6 games, and an 0 for this weekend at Dodger Stadium. Yeah, just brutal times.
I know I'm going to put you on the spot to find something there, because that's obviously Mike Trout, and I see a whole bunch of things in the chat about Kyle Tucker. What was Kyle Tucker's numbers for the entire series? Probably not much better.
Yeah, I can kind of look that up. I just know that I don't know. He's gone back to what he looked like earlier in the season, where he's just struggling at the plate. He's, yesterday I don't think he swung at the first pitch at all in any of his at-bats, which is sort of out of the ordinary for him.
Right.
But he's back to chasing pitches in the dirt or out of the strike zone. He's, just not giving you solid contact. I know there was a tweet from our pal Bruce Kuntz, who I know we'll talk to soon, about how he just looks like he's kind of giving away at bats at this point. Throwing the fact that defensively it just hasn't been good for him so far this season. Like I don't know, man. It doesn't look good at all. By the way, real quick, he was 3 for 15 in 4 games against the Angels this year. So that's a 200 average, no home runs, 4 RBI, 4 runs scored.
4 RBI. I mean, got a little bit something, but that's just not acceptable for a $60 million a year player. And his defense, especially, is not really acceptable either. There was, I think, what day was it? It wasn't yesterday. It was Saturday where he dropped the ball. He dove for a ball that landed in front of him. That really wasn't his fault, but probably could have gotten a little bit closer. And he also dropped the ball that hit off his glove. Yeah. Like the guy is as he's supposed to be this really fast player that has great range and is a gold glove caliber right fielder. And I haven't seen any of that from him this season. I've seen him make some decent catches, but for the most part, his routes are just okay. He doesn't cover a ton of ground. He lets balls fall in front of him, just like Teo did. I don't know what it is, but he seems like everything that he said that he was supposed to be has not come to fruition at all. And so I understand why he's your villain, because over and over again, it's frustrating at the plate, frustrating in right field. We talked so much about Teo last year and gave him a lot of hell for it because it's an important position. Kyle Tucker was supposed to fix that immediately. By him coming in, it was supposed to fix the right field. It has not. I mean, he's a better fielder than Teo, but this has not been good right field play.
Well, it's not so much better than what Teo was to justify the fact that he's just not producing at the plate either. So, at least with Teo last year, where the defense was poor, he was still giving you a lot offensively, and so far that has not matched up. Seeing the chat, Roy Estrada saying, "Save your energy on Tucker, keep your sanity, because we're going to live with his performance, good or bad (parentheses more bad) all season. Don't stress on the bad signing."
He's right, but we got to talk about it.
Yeah, but I also thought about this too because, I know the thought process was, well, he signs this deal. The way it's probably going to work is he's going to come to LA, he's going to ball out, and then he's going to opt out and then try to go get more money. If this continues, I don't see him opting out. I see him sticking on this roster for a couple more years.
I mean, if he stays like this through the first 2 years of his contract, that would be the worst thing that could possibly happen. I understand. Completely understood why the Dodgers did it. I understand why they did. We talked about it before, though, last year, that we didn't actually technically want this. We thought there was no reason for it. It was just adding somebody just to add him and stop another team from getting him. And maybe we were better off giving it to someone else, or maybe he just fully flips it around after the All-Star break and he's the best player in baseball somehow. I doubt it, but he's not showing. He's right now. He's just pressing way too hard, and maybe I don't know what it is. Do you think he's pressing? Do you think he's just trying to get that one swing that's going to push him out? So like, that home run did it, even though he hit one the other day.
Maybe, although in some ways it feels sort of like a continuation of what happened last year after the All-Star break, where everything kind of fell apart. I mean, last year the Cubs in general just sort of fell apart offensively after the All-Star break, but Tucker was chief among them, and it just feels like it has sort of continued from that. And so I don't know if he's pressing, if there's just a decline happening, if maybe the Cubs knew something, which is why they were sort of willing to kind of let him go. I don't know, but it's been rough the first couple of months of the season. By the way, real quick, while we're talking about this, we forgot to mention the fact that on Saturday, they scored 9 runs. Yamamoto was, again, Yamamoto. He gave up the run in the first, and then retired 22 in a row to finish out his night.
So let's talk about that, though. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They won the game, and he was fantastic. He only gave up 2 hits, but that could have been 0 runs and 1 hit very, very easily. That ball was in Pages' glove. Yep. It just landed. It was a tough play. I don't blame Pages in the slightest. It hit Pages' glove, though. That was a ball that if he wasn't kind of swirling around and kind of not sure where the ball was, he could have caught that. And then that would have been just an absolute gem, 23 in a row for Pages, and for Yamamoto. But overall, he was just amazing. And look what happens when you give this guy run support 2 weeks in a row.
It's amazing. He was lights out. Only 4 strikeouts, but just in complete command against the Angels on Saturday night. I was a little surprised they didn't let him maybe try to come out and pitch the 9th, but instead they have Jack Dreyer just come in, get a little bit of work, close it out. No
Give
big
him a
deal.
home run. Yeah,
Yeah. All right, Sam. I know Sam Boney's probably still listening. We're going to talk the Angels on Sunday. They pulled it off, 13-5 final score. I believe they scored more runs yesterday than they had in the previous 5 games of the series. Do I have that right?
You're by a lot. They almost tripled it. They had 5 in the previous games.
Yeah.
So they went from 5 to 18 just in that one game alone. It really, Marcus, it was weird too. It wasn't, I mean, there was the 3-run home run from Neto. That was but for the most part, it was 6, 7, 8, 9 for that got everything done.
Yeah, the bottom 4 hitters in the Angel lineup yesterday, 13 for 15, including 5 for 5 and 6 RBIs from something named Sebastian Rivero. A guy who, in fact, they flashed a graphic yesterday during the broadcast. By the way, we were out at Clearman's Galley, and thanks everybody who came out because it was a good time yesterday.
Thanks to Milagro too.
Absolutely, thank you. They flashed a graphic that in his previous 67 career games, Rivero had a total of 8 RBI. He had 6 yesterday. I don't know. I don't know what to say other than it was just one of those weird games. It was a tough day for Emmett Sheehan. He racked up a huge pitch count in the second, didn't make it out of the second inning. Rivero with a couple of flares that just found grass and drove in 6 runs. I don't know. It was just a weird game all around yesterday.
Yeah, it was weird, and it was like, Sheehan did not get any help. So that was all the Tucker stuff. Was that how happened yesterday? Sorry, all these things just kind of like meld into each other, and I don't know what's what. But yeah, that was all the Tucker drops and all kind of. So that didn't help Sheehan, but also Sheehan just wasn't really. He was getting squared up consistently over and over again. So I don't, as much as we blame the defense in the outfield, it very much was Sheehan's fault. And he left the game because that then became a bullpen game. And the bullpen, as we've seen, like for the first 2 months of the season, they were the best bullpen in baseball. Mm-hmm. And now recently they're starting to give it up a little bit. And the bullpens are volatile. They're going to go up and down. But when you go to a bullpen game, when they weren't expecting a bullpen game, you have to go through basically everybody. They're going to start, getting teed up a little bit. Luckily, they have the day off today, and so they can all rest. But yesterday was not fun. I mean, they tried, Marcus. They tried.
They really did.
6-1. There's back-to-back home runs. You got a Dalton Rushing and a Ryan Ward home run. All of a sudden, it's 6-5. And you're thinking, okay, the Angels are going to Angel. And instead, the bullpen.
Yeah, Jonathan Hernandez gave up 6 runs in an inning and 2/3, a couple of home runs there. At that point, it was pretty much out of reach. The Angels tacked one more on in the top of the 9th inning to make it 13-6 or 13-5 rather, and that is what the final score was there. So, it is what it is. Sort of, shrug your shoulders and enjoy the day off and get ready for a 3-game series coming up in Pittsburgh. The Dodgers, though. 7.5 game lead over the Diamondbacks, 8 over the Padres, who
free fall.
Sad to say, the Padres are the worst offense in baseball by a lot.
Yeah, that's a shame.
That's too bad.
That's a shame. Too bad.
That's to the point that they're in this losing streak so bad that they're just getting Mason Miller work just because he goes like a week between appearances. So it's like we just gotta get you out there, man, to keep you
just get a couple of innings somehow.
Just something.
But you know where they start in Pittsburgh. You know who they see first.
Is it Skeens first?
Paul Skeens.
I know they see him. Okay, so he's first.
Yeah,
all right,
first tomorrow. Yeah, that's gonna be a pretty big one. So I think is that Shohei versus Skeens?
That's a good question.
Sheehan, or is it Robleski?
It might be Robleski, I think.
Yeah, let's see what it should be. They're saying Eric Lauer versus Skeens. Oh, that's a fair fight. Paul Skeens versus Eric Lauer. Okay. But, I mean, I am kind of excited to see Andy Pajes against Paul Skeens. He hits him. He's like 4 of 6 with a bunch of doubles against him. So that's going to be the one guy in the history of baseball so far that can get to it is Andy Pajes. So let's see what he can do.
Because of course it is. All right. So we look forward to that. Of course, a day off today. We'll be back tomorrow. We're talking to Bruce Coons tomorrow.
No, that's gonna be next week.
Next Tuesday. Sorry.
We can. Oh, no, you're going to be here. You're going to be here, right?
I'll be here. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I have my Tuesdays mixed up, so that's on me. But anyway, back with you tomorrow. Of course, Stick around for the Sedano and Cap morning extravaganza. Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out with us. Thanks to Brooke and Tim for production assistance as well. And Greg, looking great from the Pizza Hut content studio. Looks fantastic.
This is a really, I get to sit in a comfy chair. I get to sit here and sit in a room. Samboni just stares at me while I do the show. It's a great time.
We're gonna miss your office backdrop though, with the window and the calendars.
Not a great look. Wasn't a great look. I think this one's a little bit better. We'll go with that one. But,
Very cool. Well, anyway, that'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. For Greg, I am Marcus. We'll see you tomorrow, 6:30 to 6:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel.
See ya.